turning on his mic. Hopefully his mic is working and the show can go on. Zach Longoria. Zach, you there, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
Zach, Kevin and Greg here. What's up, man?
Oh, not too much. Just sitting next to my boy. He's playing a little Madden.
There you go.
And I just had a long, full day, so I'm just unwinding with a nice little glass of bourbs and talking to you fools. What's going on?
Fools are right.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Zach.
Absolutely appreciate y'all having me. Thank you.
So,
Zach,
are you playing the Madden? Are you playing Madden as well?
Oh, no. I'm not playing. My son's just playing. I'm just sitting next to him on the couch. It's the only time he can get his video game fixed in is right before he goes to bed.
Heard that. Well, Zach, give us. Let's jump in. Tell us what's been up with you. You besides, I've seen you play recently your acoustic set. Then you got the ZLP, the whole project. Before that, give us a little background. How did music all originate for you and cultivate?
Well, originally, I started out in Crestwood, and then I went to South Oldham, and then I ended up in Bardstown. So I finished up school. My love of music has always been there my whole life. When I was really young, my dad gave me his record collection. And I was probably the only 8 or 9-year-old that had a record player and records, and I took that. I felt very awesome to have that record collection, and in that record collection was Michael Jackson's "Off the Wall," Stevie Wonder, "Songs of the Key of Life," a Jackson 5 live album, which was like when they were like adult Jacksons, which was best. Prince, all those different Shaka Khan, you name it. My dad and I we don't have a lot in common, but music was always like our commonplace. So that was kind of what got me rolling, and music was just kind of always a constant thing in my life. So when I got in middle school, I immediately joined band. I never joined choir, but I joined band because I wanted to play an instrument. And that's like where I learned how to read music, and I stuck with that. I made all state band in middle school, made first chair and saxophone my 7th and 8th grade year. And I got into high school, and at South Oldham, they have a really good arts the arts programs in Oldham County are really well funded. So I could play. I was a 3D sport athlete, and I also played band. But so I did symphonic band because that allowed me to have scheduling in like 3D sports. But anyway, I switched school to Nelson County and quickly found out that public school funding doesn't work the same everywhere else. And when I ended up going to Nelson County, if you wanted to play in band, you had to be in marching band, and that just wasn't going to work for my social program.
Yes.
So I had to quit that. So when I quit that, I had to get my fix some other way, and I decided that I wanted to learn how to play guitar. So my dad had a 1962 old K where the action was like 2 inches off the fretboard. And that was like my first guitar that I ever had. And I went and got it strung at this little music shop called Wendell's down in Bardstown. And I didn't even know how to string the damn thing, so I had the guy do it for me. And I took it home, and I just started watching videos of people playing guitar, and I just started like using my ear to learn how to like make sounds, which this would later play into how I learned how to become a better singer, and then eventually theory kind of followed. I just kept trying to always expand on things I knew, so I learned how to play guitar, and that kind of grew from there. And then slowly but surely, I just started writing my own songs, and that became like a 15-year labor of love until now. So that's how I got started. And then when I started writing music, I had all these songs I've been writing, and I guess in no sense in bullshitting, I got divorced and decided that after I got divorced that I wanted to be a musician, and I was gonna do this really, really hard, and I was gonna at least know. If it fails, it fails, and I can live with that. But I can't live with not ever giving it a shot or trying. So 2012, I started working on the first record, and I started trying to put a band together. The first band didn't work on the right people. And then I found the group that I'm with now, and couldn't be luckier, have a more perfect storm of great people to surround yourself with. And started working on that record. Most of it was already written. We recorded it, put it out. WSPK played it, and the rest after that was kind of history. After that, we just kind of started rolling, and one thing led to the next, and it's just been kind of a slow burn of keep writing, put out a second record, and then get to go on tour. And I haven't told anybody this yet, but Sauna Blast is going to pick us up. So we got a publishing deal through them, and our next record's going to go through Sauna Blast. So we're really excited about that.
Very cool.
And,
Breaking news straight from Zach Longoria.
Yeah, we haven't done all the formalities, but it's a done deal. We just haven't done our paperwork. But Yeah, so it's been this last year with touring and doing all those things. It's been a really humbling experience, and I think it's really kind of given us all a glimpse of what's behind the curtain, both in a negative way and a super positive way. Of like, it's a lot of work, and I've always said, if you ask anybody in the band or anybody I've ever talked about music, and that it never gets easier, it just gets harder. But you either embrace the challenge and you embrace how hard it's going to get, and you just keep your head down and you try to keep doing it. And that's what we've tried to do. And we've been fortunate enough to continue to have some form of upward trajectory, even if it's small. It's still always moving forward and upward, and that's all you can really ever ask for to be a musician. So that's it.
Yeah. Well, Zach,
I'm real happy.
This is Greg, dude. I want to tell you, I haven't been out to see you play yet, but every time you put a video up or you go live, I'm checking it out, man, and I really dig your sound, man. I like everything you do, and it's obvious the bands that you mentioned, that's your father, all his albums. You can definitely see that as your influences, man. And hey, all those people are great influences for sure. And it shows.
Sure.
It shows through, man. Your songwriting and stuff, and you mentioned that doing the touring and stuff. And is this something that I mean, I don't know what you do during the day, or do you have a day gig and that kind of stuff? But is this something that you aspire to do for a living? Is your band totally down with it? And you said you had some ups and downs. Hopefully you had more ups than you did downs. Hopefully it didn't discourage anyone, from doing it, because it could, man. It kind of discouraged me. I did a little bit of that kind of stuff, and it kind of discouraged me from wanting to go do anything like that. So, can you elaborate some more on what you found on that?
I think it's twofold. Our band, and I've met multiple other bands who, even some bands that are similar to us, have been big fans. And the first thing I learned was that we are the exception and not the rule. And that is, and I mean that in the sense of that, like, it's really hard to be in a band with a lot of really, really, really good musicians and not hate each other. And first and foremost, if you ever know me personally, or met me, know me, Zach the dad or the husband, or just the person that's a friend, it's like respect is a very big deal to me. And I always try to, and I'm not, by no means am I perfect, but as a collective group of people, we really care about one another, and we generally respect each other, and we always lead from that place. And the fact that literally is our number one priority as a group of people first, before we even talk about music, is really the catalyst of what makes us roll and what keeps us invested. And it's also the fact that the band knows how hard we've worked collectively, and they knew in the beginning it was predominantly me that really had to light a fire under everybody's ass to get them rolling. But they have no reason to trust that what I'm doing, I'm just some crazy asshole just written these songs out. What do I know?
Right.
But as time has passed, and we've continued to set goals and knock those goals down, and we've continued to watch ourselves grow and watch the studios we get to record it and be cooler, and watch the venues we're playing be bigger. We've all kind of put the negativity and the things to rest, and have accepted that if we work as hard as we can and we fail, then that's cool. We can live with that. But we're going to work really, really hard. And, there's times when certain people in the band can't get up and go and leave because, Josh, our drummer, he's getting his PhD right now, and he's just had a new baby, and he's got a 6-year-old, and I'm married and I have 2 kids. My situation is a little different because my wife came into this relationship with me as a musician. That's all she's ever known, so there was no surprises there. But for Josh, he has a career, and nobody's going to ask him to step away from that because he has to do what he has to do. So we have people that went with us on tour that back us up and play drums, and they're just as much a part of our family as anybody else. I mean, our backup drummers are friends. So it takes a community, and this band is a community, and I hope that when people see us play live, that comes across how much we really care about each other, because we generally do, and we have a great time. Nobody has more fun than us when we play. So we really enjoy it, it takes a bit of selflessness as a group to get to this stage. And now 5 years together, 2 years now, record deal, working on third, and I've been on tour, and still come off tour and be like, man, I just want to go do that again. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We're pretty comfortable in our roles, but yeah, there's times when not everybody can do that. For predominantly me, I'm a hustler baby, so I have I have a lot of side hustles. I teach a lot. I teach lessons, and now I'm working in politics, doing a political software for political campaigns. So I'm pretty busy with that. I travel a lot doing that. But that job works pretty awesome with music because I set my own schedule and I can pretty much do it from anywhere. So that helps a lot. So I mean, it's just balance, really. I've been very lucky that I've been able to kind of find things, but it hasn't come with that. It's struggles or it's hardships or it's stress. Yeah, it's stressful all the time, as I'm sure you guys know. It's never always easy. There's times when the wife and I have to talk about finances where it gets to be in the winter time and music slows down, and it won't be like that now, thank God. But those times have happened. But I think the biggest thing is that you just gotta. I try to generally be a very positive person, and music for me is my positive, happy place. So when I get the fact that I even get an opportunity to do the things that I do, as small as they may be on scale, I couldn't be happier than when I get to get up there and play with my friend and do that.
Well, dude, man, let me say, there's a lot of talent in town, and you definitely got it. So stick with it, man, because I think you can really, go far with it, and you got the drive and the talent for sure. So I really enjoy what you're doing, man. I wish you luck, for sure.
Well, thank you. We need every bit. We know love and luck we can get.
Yeah, man.
Check this out, Greg. I'd reached out to Zach several months ago, and we tried to find the time to get him on the show, and and here he is. But speaking of politics, the first time he actually was on a Shooting from the Lip show, he called in during me and Russ and my segment. We were talking one of his favorite topics. Number Trump, 45 in office, Trump, yeah.
Big 4-5.
Big four, yeah. The 4-5. Let's talk about ZLP. Tell us, what do you have as far as the number of people in there, instruments involved? Because you mentioned, a lot of people in a band that's good, and I hear nothing but great things about this Zach Longoria project. But you got that many people, and you potentially have that many egos. How does that all fit together? From given your passion, because I'm sure you need someone who's giving it back to you as well.
Right. I mean, like I said, I've grown a lot as a leader in the band, and I think in the beginning I was very harsh in the sense of I didn't really put up with much and didn't have any time. I wasn't very patient with, I would just, if you weren't going to execute X, Y, and Z that I needed, then you couldn't be here. And in the beginning, that was probably the best way to be. But I can't do that now, because now I know I can't look at these people in the face who I know have been there every step of the way and sacrificed the same things that I sacrificed and be upset. You know what I mean? We're all in the same boat now. So the dynamics definitely changed. As far as egos go, a funny thing I've found in music happens when people respect what other people bring to the table. And when you're surrounded with people who are so smart and talented, and you guys know that about each other, it really changes the way you interact with each other. Because I'm not insecure in my abilities as a musician at all, and neither are they. And I'm not, and the fact that none of us are insecure about what we bring to the table really doesn't allow us to ever feel insecure around each other when we feel like somebody has elevated our level of thought musically. It's almost exciting in a sense to feel like I can learn at any given moment. We can all learn something from somebody else, and I think that we're in that place now where it's really exciting when we practice. Because the horn players, for the most part, all of them have jazz degrees or went to jazz school at UNL or something that I expect. So they bring this whole other element. In me, I'm not very theoretical, but I have a certain type of musical feel. That's my thing that is respected amongst the band, and I can communicate in that and get what I want out of that, and I can sing parts to the horn players and they can pick it up. So it's a very neat. Who was old Buttermilk Jackson? You guys know him?
I've heard the name.
So it was a while. It was probably about a year ago, and he messaged me. And he was like, "Man, I would just love to come be a fly on the wall in your practice and see how that works." And I was like, "Yeah, man, come on in and see how this bad boy works." And he sat in and watched that practice, and what he saw was 10 people in a room, and literally we didn't have to say more than 5 words to each other all the practice. If something was a timing issue, we stop, we address the timing issue, and everybody shakes their head and we move on. So I don't know. It's just there hasn't really. I mean, do we bicker and fight when we get impatient? I mean, yeah, but it's like it's like how you would fight with your brother. Just being snippy. But for the most part, I mean, it's exciting. I look forward to practice, and I learn a lot from my bandmates all the time, and they get me really excited to go to practice. I mean, I look forward to practice. When I practice on Thursday at 9:30 because that's the only time we can all be together, and I'll be, I'm super pumped to get there because we're going to be practicing for Waterfront Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to that show. So, yeah, I mean, the ego thing for me, we really do try to check that, and it's just about respect. You respect people that you're there with. If everybody's operating on that respect, and everybody needs to understand that you're here because you're really, really good. That's understood. Mm-hmm. So let's just move past that and let's work together and let's make some kick-ass music. That's how I feel about it. Anyway. I mean, you got to be like that if you're going to sing next to a powerhouse like Gina C. I mean,
Gina C. Oh, yeah.
Keeps me sharp.
Yes.
That girl keeps me sharp. So, I mean, like, obviously I'm not, I mean, I want to play with the best and I want to be surrounded with the best musicians and I want to write with the best musicians, and I think that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. And not everybody does that. I mean, I was an acoustic artist and played solo for the longest time, and then everybody's like, you gonna make like a folk record? I was like, no, I'm gonna start a band with 10 people in a horn section. And like, that's what I always wanted to do.
Right now? You have 10 people in the band right now?
Well, we're like when we play at Waterfront Wednesday, we'll probably have like 13 people.
Good Lord.
We'll have background vocals. Like I'm gonna have Kevin Cummins gonna be there. He'll sing with us. Ryan Marsh will sing with us. Stacy will sing with us. Corey Brumback will sing with us. I think Dean Heckle's gonna sing with us as well. So I'm just gonna have a bunch of my favorite Louisville singer-songwriters who I love are gonna be singing backgrounds in all the jams. So I'm really looking forward to that.
No, I'm curious. You put in obviously with the size of the band. Is it complicated to? And I know you got all these guys bring their own talent and stuff, but to have a song, because you do covers too with the project, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the arrangements and all, how is it? Is that time consuming with all that many people? Because I'm guessing they all want to be heard, right?
Right. Well, generally the horn sections, when we have songs with horns, they will chart their own parts. So when they come up to practice, they already have the sheet music for what we're getting ready to play before we ever even sing the song. I already know my parts when I walk into practice. I already know my guitar parts, and vice versa. So at best, all we're doing is everybody's getting together, and we are just fine-tuning what we've already been practicing on our own. So homework is required. So most of the work is done on everybody's own time. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very cool.
So that's pretty much how it gets done. But like I said, it really requires everybody to be invested and do that on their own time so we can be efficient. That's a testament to them, really, and their work ethic.
Did Greg, are you back with us? You're back. You dropped.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Yeah.
All right, we'll go jump in, Mr.
No, I was just
drummer.
I was in the middle of asking him if he used his band in the studio and did he record in town? I know that he did some work in Nashville. I know I've seen him out there playing in Nashville, but where he did his recording at, and did he use his band or what other musicians, if any? So yeah, that's what I was curious about.
Oh yeah, both records were done in Louisville. Our first record was done at Deadbird Studios, and that record was tracked. If you're familiar, for those of you who are listening and don't know what track means, non-musician folk, it means that he laid the drum part down, we lay the bass part down over it, and you just kind of lay each part after the other, and you don't record at the same time. And that's how we did the first record. Second record, I really wanted to try to capture what we sound like for real, so we did it at La La Land, and we tracked the whole record live. So you can imagine we all because you can isolate the amps, so you don't have them bleed over, and you can put everybody's amp in different rooms. So for us, we're all standing there. The only thing that's mic'd in the room with us is just the drums. And if you walked in that room, all you'd hear is the drums. But we're all playing. So we recorded every song, and every song that you hear on that record, except for the vocals and background vocals, obviously was happening in real time together. Because I really wanted to capture that live feel. So the second record, it was done at La La Land. Dave Chael mixed it. He owns Deadbird Studios, and he came to La La Land and did our second record.
Cool.
Yes, we did it all in town, and all the same band members. And all the
right.
background vocals are most of the people that are going to be singing with us in Waterfront. They're all local
Good
singer-songwriters
deal.
that I love and respect. So
Yeah.
heck yeah.
Cool. Yeah, cool. I like
we got
that.
we got lots of talent in Louisville, and I have there's so many great singer-songwriters and singers and just good-hearted people that play music that I've just had the privilege to get to know over the years. So I try to always, like Waterfront Wednesday, get them up on stage and let everybody be a part of it, because a lot of people were a part of the record, and a lot of these singer-songwriters have been a part of my music growth, even though they may not know it. So I try to include them any chance I get to be a part of anything we get to do, if I can, within reason. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Greg, listening to Zach, here's a couple things I take from him, or my perspective of Zach. He's confident yet humble, and he gives, but he expects back to go. And then you add all that talent, though. So yeah, it's how important is it? Because you bring up a good one. And I want to ask you this too, Greg. I'm sure we probably had other guests say it, but to hear Zach kind of really put it in the words that he did, how Zach is bringing in people, letting them be a part of. Obviously, this is a big gig. There's going to be a lot of people at Waterfront, and to kind of pay respect to the people who have helped along the way, to let them be part of these events. Does that happen? I don't see that a lot. Does that actually? Is that like a code, or is that an unwritten rule, or something that you really should do that for your fellow musician? Greg.
Well, man, I mean, for me, I've never been, in that situation to where whenever I'm playing somewhere and say a fellow musician that I respect is out there, of course, all I can do is ask them to play drums, like Brad to come out, or any other drummer that, a drumming brother. I will definitely say, hey, get up and play, just to show respect and that to me is the ultimate, respect, to say get up and jam, come on up and play, and
I would think
of course
so, yeah.
singers, it is, man, and I don't like going out to see bands, and I don't want them to expect. I don't know how to say this, man. There's some people who will go out and want to go sit in. And to me, I go out to see the music, and if I'm asked, that's cool. If I'm not asked, that's cool too. I'm not going out. I'm going out to see. It's very cool to be asked, but I'm not going out to do that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Sure, I get that.
So,
yeah, I'm a very loyal, almost loyal to a fault, and people that do right by me, I never forget that. The people and the list of people that have been good to me in Louisville is long, and I do my best when I get the opportunity to reciprocate or return the favor. I really try to make sure I do that. That's never easy, but the Louisville music scene is vastly underrated and greatly underappreciated, and
absolutely,
I feel that's why a lot of talent moves from here, and it really sucks because Louisville has such a great infrastructure. It's great radio stations that support local music, and it's got killer venues, but the issue is really cultivating a scene when you have your top bands always end up going somewhere else, and that's not a slight to them. That just goes back to the already the problem at hand, which is cultivating a culture of music. So you end up having this really small incestuous music scene, which I'm fortunate to be a part of, as well as other people. But it could be a bigger tent. I don't know how you figure that out, but.
Yeah.
The music scene in Louisville is great, and there are tons of talented people here, people that I greatly respect, and I'm very proud to be a Kentucky boy. I'm proud to be from Louisville. I'm proud of everything this city has, and to be from here. And I hope that the Louisville music scene continues to grow, and that the infrastructures continue to get better, and that we continue to pump out more kick-ass music.
Right. Yeah.
You mentioned cultivating the local scene. Well, give me an idea because I struggle. I have a daytime job, so but I would love on the weeknights to spend some time listening to local music. A lot of these guys or gals, and but that whole 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock window on a weeknight, it's a little tough. But
Right.
is there if you had a say in helping take local music to the next level or another level, what would be some of your ideas?
As far as taking like the whole thing to the next level, well, I mean, you got to give a shout out to the festivals that include local music, and that things like Poor Castle, things like Newland Fest, things like Seven Sense Music Festival, Gonzo Fest. Like, these are some smaller festivals that really do a good job of, like, that's the infrastructure I'm talking about, is having these events that pull in people in Louisville to listen. Because I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, the average. And I'm not talking about the people that go to Z-Bar, go to Kaju, or the people that go to those places, but the average person that goes out to hear music, they want to go hear things they already know. And that in a nutshell is already the issue with music and the music scene as a whole. It's like people look at music like they look at foods they eat. And it shouldn't be looked at that way. It should be something that's fun. Like my favorite thing in music, my all-time favorite, the thing that gets me up in the morning, makes me love music the most, is the feeling you get when you hear something you've never heard before and it blows your mind. Like, that's an amazing feeling. But a lot of people are reluctant to allow themselves to hear that because they wanna know it first. And that's really kind of the anti music fan, right? Like, that's not what you're supposed to be about. You're supposed to be looking for something that you've never heard to blow your mind. So that culture kind of has to change, in a sense that, like, people have got to want to hear new things and want to go to those things, to hear new artists whom they may not have ever heard before, to be exposed to it. And I don't know how to remedy that or what the answers are.
Yeah, well, don't you need venues to buy into that, though? Because I think that's where.
Well, you certainly do, and I think
that's the hard thing.
Like places like I play at places like we play gigs like the Levy and Backers, and I love the owners of those places and what those gigs do. But like, those gigs for us are because we need to have revenue streams to support ourselves when we go on tour. But when we go to those places, the crowd that's there isn't interested in ZLP music. Maybe some are, maybe. Those crowds are interested in us and will entertain me. Play me something right now.
God, I hear you.
And that's for the artist, for somebody who like spends their time wanting to write music, that can be soul crushing. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That can be where the negativity creeps in. Luckily for us, like, we know we're able to like compartmentalize when we play those shows and what we have to do for that, and we have fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, we have a good time, and at this point, we don't really give a shit if you don't want to hear our music. We're gonna shove it down your throat. So we don't really care, because we're getting paid one way or the other, and we're here. We've been come here, so we're not really worried about what you want to hear. But we'll play you some songs that you know, and then we're gonna jam 5 DLP songs down your throat. So like,
and you'll gain a fan or two when you do that. You'll gain a fan, or two or three, and because a lot of people they'll fucking go get a drink or go to the restroom. Oh man, I don't know this song. Let's go to the bathroom real quick.
Right.
They'll play Wagon Wheel in a minute.
Exactly. And that, in a nutshell, and that's not just Louisville music scene. That is the new age music model of formulaic music and giving people what you think they want to hear. But that takes and this is going to sound really pretentious to even say, but that takes the artistic value away from it. And that's why when you hear people, I'll use country music as an example. I mean, country music, I love country music. Now, publicly, you'll think I hate country music, but I love old school country, and I love the songwriting aspect of that, and I love the folk aspect. I mean, I've written country songs. I have 2 country songs on our first record. One's called The Pain, that I wrote, which was about the darkest time of my life. And then I wrote another country song called Can't Take It Anymore, one that Gina and I sing as a duet. And those are 2 country songs. But it's about like the songwriting and the melody and like, and that's what country music to me was always about. Was about these great songs and songwriting. But now it's just about fucking tailgates and beers and tractors, and I don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, bro.
It really dumbs down people from the country, and I'm from the country. It dumbs down their way of life, and that people in the country only give a shit about girls in short shorts and cowboy boots and fucking drinking beer on the back of the tailgate. I'm right, and it's disingenuous to like what it should be about. Like country music doesn't have to be about a certain subject. Country music is about the style, and it's about telling a story that is heartfelt, and like it's folk music with a twang. So it's always been. And that's why people like Jason Isbell, Chris Stapleton, and of course Sergio Simpson. That's why they're so important right now. And they're bringing something back, and they're bringing back some fucking street cred to country music that has been lacking, frankly, for maybe 20 years.
Yeah, and country hasn't been country, for 15, 20 years. It's been rock.
Right. It's become formalic. It's become about what makes money. So we keep just hitting this is what people want to hear, so let's just make that. And to me, I think that is bullshit.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst possible. Like nothing in my life, and no offense to any of my friends who make that kind of music. I have friends that do, and I love you on the spectrum. But at the end of the day, it's like nothing about that makes me sad to want to go play music. I wouldn't feel genuine or feel good in my heart about what I'm doing. Like I said, like I don't make a shit ton of money with the band doing this, but it's never really been about that as much as it's always been about like hitting goals, playing shows, and I still do believe this. That like if I'm genuine and I stick to we stick to what we want to write, and we stick to like these things, and we just work hard and keep our fucking head down, that people will want to invest in this band, and record labels will want to sign us one day, and people will like our music. I've never ever considered, are we a bad band? Like I feel like if you're any musician out there that's trying to do it, like you never think to yourself like, man, am I terrible? Like, no, that should, if that's what you think, then you probably are terrible and you should quit.
Yeah.
But at this level, it's like, no, like but I'm also not going to get discouraged. Like, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep plugging. I'm going to keep writing songs and just keep working as hard as I possibly can. And as long as that, like we talked about in the beginning of the interview, as long as that trajectory is always upward, even if it doesn't have to be, fucking straight up and down, but as long as it's trending up, then what am I complaining about?
Right.
I'm going to keep doing that. That's all I need to worry about, and that's all I ever do worry about. But, music becomes formalic, and circling back to the whole thing with Louisville is that, Louisville has a small group of people that are music goers, and thank God for things like War Castle, which, music festivals like that expand people's minds. Music festivals in general, if you go to a music festival, you're probably going to be a much more well-rounded person musically than any person that just goes to concerts at the Yum Center all year. You know what I mean? Like, because when you go to music festivals, you are thrust into an environment where you may go see some shows that you would never go see if not for the fact they were just playing that day, and you got to see it for free. So music festivals allow you to be more open. It just yields that. You're going to, I never in a million years would buy a ticket to go see Dave Matthews, and because I was at Bonnaroo one year, I saw Dave Matthews. Did I like it? No, but at least I know now. I saw it. The same thing I can say about when I got to see Beck for the first time at War Castle. Did I ever like Beck? No. And then I saw Beck for the first time live, and I was like, well, Zach, you're an idiot, because Beck's awesome. You need to go home and rethink your whole life. So, like, I've had that on both sides. So, so, like, that's people in music. Music is, politics and all that shit. Like, we can all have our opinions on that. But music is completely free in the sense that, like, you can like country music, and you can like 1,000 different things. One of my favorite rock bands in the whole world is My Morning Jacket. And I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about that, because if you haven't seen My Morning Jacket, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. That band is awesome.
Yeah, they
are. The end.
Yep.
So if people say they don't like My Morning Jacket, I don't know what to say to them. It's like, well, I guess we can't be friends now.
well, we definitely have a lot here in town to, all kinds of genres of music to go check out. So, like you said, it is free, man. Go find something you do like. Before we let you go, man, can you go ahead and tell us what you got coming up, and share your social media with us so we can people can get in touch with you and find out what's going on with you?
Well, first of all, thank you guys both for inviting me on here and giving me the opportunity to talk about music. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that you guys do that because that's important, like for the infrastructure we talked before. So thank you very much. Sorry for rambling. I am wanting to do that.
No.
So.
That's what this show is for. And I think Kevin went to go pee. So.
Well, that's probably good.
Pee, right? Yeah, it is.
I peed when I was during the whole interview, so it didn't even matter. But anyway, just thank you guys for giving me the opportunity and continuing to try to give musicians around town an opportunity to talk about what they're doing and to help people who may not know it understand it, that it exists and that it's there. There's a lot of good music in the town, and if you don't know, you just gotta tap into that vein and allow yourself to hear new things and be open to it. But aside from that, so our next little band show is Waterfront Wednesday, July 26th. We're playing with Loca, Connie, and I believe a strain of Oaks. Oaks is their name. They're a new hot band. They kind of got like a Kings of Leon, Tom Petty thing going. Low-Cut Connie, though, who is the band that I know, I'm friends with the lead singer on Facebook, Adam Weiner, and they are just classic rock and roll, Jerry Lee Lewis style. I mean, they're fun. They're fun. They're gonna absolutely crush it. I've played a couple shows with them. They played right after us at Seventh Sense last year, and we did a show at the New Vintage a couple years ago. But I'm really excited to see them. They've had a great year. They've been blowing up, on a national tour, so I'm excited about that. Gina C and I will be at somewhere. That's the actual name. It's on Bardstown Road. We're playing their acoustic this Saturday at 8:00. And it's always fun. If you haven't ever seen Gina and I play acoustic, it's really fun. I enjoy it. It's very chill, a lot different than our live band show. But Gina and I really have a good time, just her and I on a guitar. That's always fun. So that's what I got coming up.
Sounds good. Can you hear me, Greg?
Oh, you back, man. Kevin? Where'd you go? What happened to you?
Good. It's the dashboard that I'm using. It's I don't know. It's technical difficulties at its finest. So, did you? I know you said you just talked gigs and albums. But what's all right? Before we let you go, social media. Where can everyone connect with you?
I'm good, y'all. I have nothing but time. I have blocked out. I'm just now have quiet time at my house for the first time all day. Social media. So on Facebook, you can find our band page. It's under ZLP. If you just want to find links to everything, just go to zlpmusic.com, and that's got links to our Instagram, which is at Zach Longoria Project, and then Twitter is at Zach Longoria, and that's most of all our stuff.
Cool.
So that's
very
everything
cool
for social media.